Every family has them.
Oh yeah. Every family also has their skeletons
Oh,
in the
yeah.
closet.
Absolutely. Can we move on to something else now? This is depressing.
the the new DLC for City Skylines. It's free. Wah!
Yeah.
Zoinks!
Yeah, it's not much, but cool. It's just a stadium.
Yeah.
Just a stadium, but that's still cool.
Actually, it's a little bit more than that. It is a stadium, but it allows you to connect and manage sports.
Oh yeah, yes, I heard that. Yeah, sports events and stuff like that for your people. So,
let me get to it real quick. No, it left my Steam thingy-mabob.
oh.
Luckily, I already chose to get it, so.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I started up Skylines the other day just to think, oh yeah, I'll better download this, and it's already downloaded. Okay, fair enough. I'm surprised that City Skylines is still going. It's still actively being developed. Just
I'm very, very glad for that. It's not turning into like a SimCity 4 or...
oh jeez, a blind
God,
monkey.
I hate SimCity 4.
Yeah, well, a blind monkey with a keyboard up its ass can do better than SimCity these days. SimCity 2000 was the best. Or SimCity 3 really was the best for me. But then again,
SimCity 2000 and 3000 were really, really good.
yeah.
But 4, I just never could get the damn thing to freaking run. And
Well, apparently it's not that bad, but
it isn't. It's not as bad as Society's.
oh right, yeah, I vaguely remember something like that.
Or SimTown.
Yeah, that's when you had your Sims and all that in it, wasn't it?
I believe so. It was more of the community-oriented one, and it just meh.
Nah.
I've got all of them, and the problem that I have with SimCity 4 is the physical media.
Yeah.
Is every disc that I have is disc 1. I do not have a disc 2. So I can't install it. And I've sent it back to EA because I bought 6 copies. I sent the 6 copies to EA, got 1 copy back, and it had the same issue.
Yeah.
I ended up checking the MD5 checksums every time I put a disc in, and they were all the same.
Yeah, well, it's EA.
Yeah.
Shoveling shit is their profession. But, well, EA hasn't been good since Trip Hawkins left. And that was back in the early 90s, that was. Because, like, my first well, actually my first ever vid I did on YouTube was Fire Trap, and that was an EA game. And you got their first ones, which is Archon, which is like Battle Chess, but a lot more fun. And that was one of their first games, and that was made by Trip Hawkins. So, yeah, well, Trip Hawkins left EA in the early 90s to do the 3DO project. He was the head of that. But after that, they became really arseholes, for lack of better words. I only think that actually started doing the Madden 2008, FIFA 2009 sort of thing. Not that, I mean like 2000, yeah. Where they just, every year they just put out same game, different number sort of thing. Like they're still doing now.
Well, there's that, and the other thing is they, like with Maxis, they could have embraced it, but instead they had to extinguish it. I mean, there was so much potential that they could have done, and then what they did with Dungeon Keeper was pretty bullshitty as well.
Yeah, well, do you remember a long time ago SSI, the company? They made the Dungeons and Dragons games and stuff, and it kind of started the Command and Conquer line sort of thing. Outside of, it was made by Westwood Studios, but it was SSI who published it. They did the Advanced D&D Gold Box, and they sold millions and millions, and they got a deal with EA, and EA intentionally, well, fucked with them with the contract, and ended up getting bankrupt within a few years, which is really, really sad because those games are awesome, like Pool of Radiance and Dragon Strike and stuff like that. So, yeah, EA has some, well, a lot of things to answer for, I should say. They do occasionally get a good game coming out, like Brutal Legend, even though...
Oh, okay.
What?
I just looked it up, and now I wait a minute. They're part of Ubisoft now.
Yeah, they...
Dungeons and Dragons and Panzer General.
Yeah. The EA must have sold it off the name, but... yeah. Well, the person who... well, the bloke who did the original RPGs is now a she, and she works at some mobile company now.
SSI was acquired by Mindscape in 1994, spent time as part of Mattel, and then finally became part of Ubisoft in 2001.
Yeah, but now they don't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has since retired the brand name.
Yeah. That's the same, like with Ocean Software did the same thing. They went to Ubisoft and now the name's no longer around. Which is incredibly sad because Ocean made some fantastic games. And Ocean was the company on TV once.
I know.
In the 80s. Yeah.
I know who Ocean is.
Yeah.
They made a lot of great games. And their soundtracks were, oh my god, sexy.
Yeah. Like, have you seen that commercials break video that was on the BBC? Oh, years and years and years ago, back in the early 80s. It was a business show, and they were talking about Ocean Software and Imagine Software. Imagine Software were going through some trouble at the time, and actually went bankrupt on national TV. In this clip, the agents of the bailiff came in and locked everything down. The people couldn't get back in. Even the BBC couldn't get their cameras back, stuff like that. It's actually really cool. And you got the head of Ocean at the time actually chatting about piracy even back then, and he's saying, "Oh, it's an endemic part of computing. Like kids will attempt to get into a tape, but it's the mass production and the mass selling of it that's more of concern." So even to him, he knows, yeah, well, let them copy, but it's the mass production that's the issue.
Yeah.
Even today, that's still the same issue. One person doing it here and there. Oh shit! I'm running out of fuel again. Oh, cool, petrol station. But yeah, like, how much of the this DRM nonsense just doesn't work? It's just making things hell, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I've never heard of Imagine Software.
Yeah, they didn't last very long. They were from...
And it really, a lot of the systems that they developed for...
You don't have.
really didn't exist out here. The VIC-20 and the ZX Spectrum never really made it here. I mean, it was... a couple weeks ago when I was at the secondhand shop up in one of the secondhand shops up in Ventura,
Yep.
looking for a computer for a client, and I saw the Commodore 64, and I was actually able to open it and lift it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I didn't go like, okay, I'm going to buy this and see if I can sell it for monies, is because the case was cracked in the upper left-hand corner of the keyboard, where if you take a look at yours, between the escape and the F1 key.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's function keys on the Commodore.
There is. They're on the right-hand side.
Okay. Well, it's up in the top area, right above the 1 key.
Yep, I see. Yep.
There's a crack that you can pretty much see the shielding inside. So yeah, I was like, that makes me worried. That, and all it had was the C64 and a power supply.
So it didn't have a tape. So there was no tape drive or disk drive or anything like that.
Nope, none of that. So I felt very, very uneasy with picking it up at any price.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know that system well enough to know the demand for just a bare bones.
Just a bare bones system will get you, well, like you said, it's got a big crack, will get you like $50.
Yeah. At that point I was thinking, should I get this for Strider? No.
Yeah, Commodore 64s can go for a pretty decent price if you get the right one, because there's various models through history. Like if you get a really early one like mine, that can range from about, if it's just the system and it works, you'll get about, I don't know, $10 to $20. But if you get an early one that hasn't been pulled apart, is clean, pristine, and actually has games with it, you'll get about $200 to $300. Something like that.
Yeah, the first time that I actually saw a C64 was at a rummage sale that I was at.
Yeah. And
the guy had kitten caboodle games and all sorts of other stuff. The guy wanted $1,000 for it.
Oh God, everything. No. Well, that's but like $1,000, was it? Like you mean when?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got my Commodore.
But it had every accessory. Period. He had one table dedicated just for everything for the C64, and it was stacked up at least a meter.
Well, there wasn't much dedicated hardware to the C64, so I kind of doubt they would have a table full of dedicated things, because you could run any joystick with it. For instance, there was no dedicated Commodore joystick. There wasn't no dedicated mouse. There was only like dedicated disk drive and the tape drive.
Games.
And the tape drive. Yes, and the games. But like I said,
yeah,
the games were that's cheap.
Kind of what I mean. Yeah. That's kind of what I mean. Is just that and the games. He had a lot of games.
Yeah, I got about 3 shopping bags full of discs. And 5¼ floppies.
You sound like me with my NES games.
Except,
and you've seen my Game Boy collection.
Yeah, and I have to say, but I do have to say, with a little bit of with something I'm not so proud of, is that 90% of my Commodore games are pirated games. Yeah. But I do have one of those. I actually have 2 of those D&D gold boxes, and I did have the paper on the paperwork for it. It says there was only like 4,000 of them printed, and I got like 1,000, number 1,000 or something like that. So
yeah, all of my NES carts are real.
Yeah, well you can't, you couldn't copy them. That's the thing. That's how Nintendo saved the industry. They were extremely difficult to copy.
Okay, in that case, 99% of my Nintendo cards are real because I do have some of those Atari the Atari ones.
What the the classic collections or something, is it?
No, Atari reverse engineered the NES lockout chip.
Oh.
And they got sued. For example, if you have a copy of the original Gauntlet or Pac-Man,
yeah,
those are technically bootleg and unofficial NES cards.
I see. Ah.
So they're pseudo legit because they were designed for the NES,
Right.
but they're not officially licensed.
Right.
So it's kind of that gray area where a big company went and reverse engineered it. It's the same thing with the Game Shark as well. The Game Shark reverse engineered and the lockout chip on the NES.
Yeah, I had a Game Genie for the N64, and it was the same thing. And I saw a video recently of how they reverse engineered the lockout chip for the N64, and that was interesting. Having to they actually depotted all the chips. Like, they actually got rid of all the resin and plastic in them and took super accurate photos of them and looked at all the circuitry inside. It's cool, actually.
Yeah, that's what's going on. There's the composite cable the RGB cable for the GameCube.
Right.
It's got a special chip in the cable to do the video output, and that also allows the console to output RGB as well.
Yeah.
Not RGB in the sense of the original whatever component composite. I can never remember which wording it is.
Yeah.
It's but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the reason for reverse engineering that chip is so that they can get RGB working, and then from there they can go and input that video signal into an HDMI converter.
Yeah.
And then be able to play GameCube games on an HDMI television in the highest color resolution that you can get.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very similar to like what my PS3 and PS4 does. When I try to hook up the HDMI to my capture card, and since both the PlayStations encrypt their HDMI signal, the capture card can't handle them. It keeps flipping back and forth between resolutions and all this other stuff. It's really difficult. The PS4, I can turn it off. That's how I recorded Metal Gear Solid 5. So that's cool, but the PS3 I can't, so I have to run it through the RGB cables to do it, so it's not at full res, which is really pain in the ass. So it does the same, but it uses something called HDCP or HD copy protection or something like that. Yeah, which seriously sucks. Alright, my driver here.
Okay, it's component.
Component. Yep.
So the chip in the component cable will allow someone to go and allow RGB on the GameCube and the Wii.
Whoa.
And that cable, for some reason, is actually really, really hard to get and relatively expensive. I mean, it's kind of like a broadband adapter for a Dreamcast.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, those are like hen's teeth, those things.
Those things run from 150 up. If you find one for under $100 US, buy it.
Yeah. That's true, yes. Well, it was a time of invention, you have to give it that. Which is really cool, which is rather disconcerting these days, because not many people are actually inventing things in the games industry. Or any industry, for that matter. So...
It's kind of like how I really miss a company called Hudson Soft.
Oh yes, Hudson Soft is still around.
Not anymore. They were merged with Konami, and Konami has pretty much squashed the brand.
I got a couple of Hudson Soft games. They mainly did I think they remade Bomberman into Bomberman Ultra, which I got on my PS3. I think that was Hudson Soft. I can't remember. But I have been seeing Hudson Soft around. Maybe they did collapse when Konami collapsed recently, so... Yeah.
They dissipated in 2012, so they haven't been gone for that long. But they were dissolved and consolidated by Konami into a single company.
And now Konami's going, we're not going to make games anymore. Yeah, we're going to make fun.
Yeah, which is even worse, because a lot of the Hudson Soft games were really, really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Bonkers. Amazing. If you ever get to one of the, like, NES, Super NES, Game Boy, Bonk is definitely one that I could recommend.
I think I've played Bonk a long time ago, but I think I have. But yeah.
Bonk and Adventure Island.
Adventure Island. I think I have played Adventure Island many, many years ago. I think I was in primary school at the time. But I do think I played it.
Was available for the MSX, if you had one.
No, I didn't. We didn't have that, no. I don't know, but it does ring a bell, of course. I don't know.
Us.
Yeah, but
Sega.
Yeah, but there's a lot of old games that there's a lot of those old companies that I really do miss. Well, Konami for one, because they did make good games. You have to give them credit for that.
Oh yeah. I don't know why they went completely apeshit and stuck their head up their ass.
Yeah, how could you cancel, like, the new Silent Hill? How could you cancel that? Why? It doesn't make any sense. And why did you push Phantom Pain out the door so bloody readily? And the game suffered for it.
And just take a look at EA. They pushed games out way too early. Same thing with Ubisoft.
Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, same with.
It's getting to the point where it's like AAA developers are putting out games that are the quality of shovelware indie games.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that last night, because we've got all these indie games coming out. They're all little dicky little things, and I kept wondering why they're small. Why don't you put more stuff into it? They said, "Oh, we couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it." Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Because, like, you got Unreal, which is practically free, and you got Godot, and you got... The tools are practically free these days. No, I call bullshit. Stop fuck-assing around on your beanbags and playing table tennis and actually make a fucking game, and you might actually get more done with it. Where are all the old classic game developers? Like, even Rare we haven't heard much from recently. Rare was fantastic, and they've been around since the early 80s. System 3 is still going strong, and they don't make much though, but they're still independent, which is nice.
Yeah, but Rare is now owned by Microsoft, and last I heard, they were absorbed into Microsoft Games division.
Oh, please tell me you're yanking my chain there. Please, for the love of God, you're yanking my chain. Oh, no. Come on. Like, don't tug my heart like that. Come on, I want Killer Instinct on something other than the fucking Xbox. Come on. Give me that. Please. I don't care if it's fucking Windows 10. Give me it. But I'm happy that System 3 is still going strong and they're still independent, which is really nice. And they've been going since the early 80s as well. So, yeah. But, yeah, I suppose that's the world we live in these days. What a disaster it is for Sid Meier's name now. You got the past couple of Civilizations, which flopped tremendously. It's.
I must say, Civ 4 is okay. Civ 5, if you enjoy that sort of gameplay, you get absorbed and sucked in. But the problem I have with Civ 5 is there's Battle for Westnoth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have no. The only reason why I own it is because it was cheap on a Humble Bundle. That a friend of mine, developer of a Linux operating system for the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Fucking bust, that's it. Pull right out in front of me, you fucking asshole. Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
He said, "Hey, if you buy this game, I'll play with you." So we've played a couple matches, but the problem is when you play with him, he's so methodical that the game ends up going for hours upon hours, and I just...
What, so like playing Westnoth with Amon or something like that, is it?
At least Westnoth moves a little faster. I mean, it for me, I can never get in any of the Civ games. I mean, any free Civ, Call, whatever. By turn 5, I am so terminally screwed that there is no point of recovery.
So essentially, you and City Skylines then. like you're screwed within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, those sort of games have their place.
Rare does have a new game out.
Who does? Rare?
Rare.
Yeah? What is it?
It's called Sea of Thieves. And it's only available on Microsoft Windows and Xbox One. I'm sorry.
Yes, thanks.
Oh yeah, I now I remember that one. It's the MOBA adventure game where you go on an island and there's pirates and shit like that.
Yeah, I think the name's ringing bells, but yeah. Well, the two founders are Rare. They haven't been there for a fair while now, so I think they left like in 2007 or something like that. Left the company.
Yeah, I think Microsoft or Nintendo should have kept Rare.
Well,
that was just stupid.
Well, they didn't own Rare; they just were partners with them. And I think it was something like when they did Conkers, for instance. That might have made a few rifts, but yeah, they should have stuck with them. Come on, Perfect Dark wasn't that bad.
It's kind of like when Nintendo screwed Square Enix, because if you notice, Square Enix
Well, Squaresoft at the time.
Square abandoned the Nintendo systems after the Super Nintendo,
Yeah.
up until around maybe Game Boy Color. That's when they started releasing a few games. They did the Dragon Warrior games. And then the Game Boy Advance, they came back. So, Nintendo ticked them off royally.
My brakes had to fail right then and right up the arse for a copper. Well done. Okay.
What happened?
I was coming off the interstate and I didn't slow down correctly, and I went up the arse of a cop car. So,
Ooh.
I copped a pretty hefty fine.
I hope the fine that I get for my ticket is not going to be really expensive.
What
because
ticket?
That would just be fucking stupid. I got a ticket on my bicycle.
Oh. What'd you do?
I was going against the flow of traffic on a sidewalk.
Oh.
Which is what makes that ticket even more ridiculous. Where's the safety hazard going against the flow of traffic on a sidewalk? But
that fella must have had he must have had a really slow day or really pissed off.
Yeah, it must have been a really, really slow day, because he was set up as a speed trap.
Right.
But at least it's just... He could have knocked me on two things. Riding on the sidewalk is actually illegal in the state of California.
Yeah, it's the same here.
So it's just not generally enforced, which...
Yeah.
If I try and fight the ticket, it might be implemented, and that's a much more expensive fine.
Yeah.
So...
Seems to me that I'm on Route 666. Am I? Well, anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, I got busted once. Not for riding on the sidewalk, but because I didn't have a helmet on. And thankfully I could lie my way out of anything. I said, oh, I had a crash with it, so you're not supposed to use it after you've had a crash? So it's going, no, alright, just don't ride it home. Okay, she didn't write me a ticket. I'm going, okay, thanks. The cop went around the corner. I'm going, fuck it, back on my bike again. No, they're out of sight. I'm riding. But I've passed so many coppers on my bike without my helmet because I just don't like wearing them. And it's illegal not to ride without your helmet here. I should add. It is illegal.
Period?
Yes, period. It is
Interesting.
illegal. It is illegal to ride without your helmet. So...
Interesting. That's probably because the air down there is upside down and it's going to try and kill you.
Very fucking funny.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. What just turned me engine off? Okay.
But yeah, it's illegal for people under 18 to ride a bicycle without a helmet, but it's not if you're over 18.
No, it's period here. You're not allowed to. Well, you're not supposed to, but... You're not allowed to, but people still don't. But it's become routine in Australia that no one really questions it. It's just, yep, okay, put on my helmet, away we go. But since growing up, I've ridden for years and years and years without a helmet. Just having one on just feels weird to me.
Well, I've got some pictures. I got off the bus one time,
Yeah.
and I was headed to work less than about a block away from where the bus dropped me off.
Yeah.
And there was just one street intersection between me and my office.
Yep.
Supposedly, I remember I made it across the intersection,
Yeah.
but I don't remember that. And the next thing I know, I'm being put in an ambulance. 53 minutes later.
What'd you get hit by?
I don't know. What I do know is I did not have my helmet on. And if I had my helmet, I would not have lost at minimum 53 minutes of my life.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, they do their job. That's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
And what was worse, it was in my hands.
Oh, yeah, the helmet's supposed to be on your head.
Yeah.
Were you
So
were you actually riding a bike or?
Yeah, I've got 180,000 miles on my bicycle.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have been walking it or something. What am I stuck?
Nah. Another bicycle accident that I had, I left my bicycle helmet at home and I went into Oxnard for some reason, and I was riding home and there was this overpass that I needed to get over. And one of the grates had no crossbars on it. So I was riding a touring bicycle.
Ooh.
With skinny tires.
Yeah.
Thunk straight into the storm drain, over the handlebars, head, asphalt, bounce, bounce, bounce.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was awake and conscious for the whole entire thing, but I was pretty bloodied up.
Yeah. I did that once when I was younger. When I was I like to jump off things. I always will. I always have, always will. And I was just jumping off the side of driveways. I jumped off one. My front wheel dug into the ground. The front bars bent. I went over the handlebars, rolly, and then I felt something graze the top of my head, and it was actually my bike. Almost just missed the top of my head as I was bounding down the road. And actually, I was on my rollerblades going down this pretty steep hill one day, and I was going down the sidewalk, and there was these alleyways, and at those points the sidewalk sort of dipped slightly, and I was going too fast, and I launched off that lip, and I wasn't ready for it, and well, I hit the ground and rolled a few. For God's sake, I'm copping a lot of fines. I was rolling down the street, and since I've had hundreds and hundreds of crashes in my life, I just got up, wiped myself down. Yep, I'm right. I looked across the road, and there's this 12-year-old kid there with his mouth open, going, "How the hell did you survive that?" Experience, kid. And just kept going. Thankfully, my mobile phone didn't get broken at that time. It was in my pocket at the time. It hurt me bloody leg though, but it didn't get broken.
Yeah. I had an accident. I was going across the atrium at the local government center.
Yeah.
The county government center, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is it's made with that glossy-like brick. It's still a red clay brick, but it has a bit of a gloss to it.
Yeah.
And because we're so close to the ocean, it was a foggy, misty day, so it was very, very moist.
Oh, dear.
And my back tire slipped out.
Right.
And at that time, I was riding on road tires. So, total road tires, I should say.
Yep.
So, pretty much all bald. And skid, thunk. I had I lost a bunch of hair on my legs.
Oh, right.
And I was wearing jeans, too.
Oh. Yeah, that's quite nasty. So what's this?
Yeah.
One?
So
Okay.
I
You're
try
going.
and not ride my bicycle without my helmet ever.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I ride with my helmet now, but at the time I just didn't. And I've had many crashes in my life, like I said. But where I used to live, wearing a helmet wasn't to prevent you from crashes. It was to prevent you from being hit by bloody magpies. Because during the summer they would swoop at you and try to hit you. And
The blue jays out here and the mockingbirds are kind of like that. Although the only bird that I've had go and attack me on the swoop of my head was a blue jay.
yeah,
But unless you really, really piss one of them off, they don't attack you.
magpies do attack you. They without warning, without reason. They'll just if you're in their territory, they'll have a go at you, and they have a go at anything. Like I've seen them attack dogs and cats and other birds. And where I used to live, there was I think it was 3 territories, like the territories of 3 families overlap my backyard. So occasionally you hear a ruckus up in the air, and you look up and there's like 2 dozen magpies having this big dogfight. It was actually really cool. But like my eldest brother was I think it was walking from guitar lessons or something, and happened to have his guitar with him, and a magpie swooped him. So he was waiting for the magpie to have a go, and have a go at him, and he swung his guitar at the magpie, and the magpie went through his frigging guitar. So
Check the picture I posted on Mumble when you get the chance. It made a Gravedigger get.
oh yeah, I saw that on G Plus. Yes, the eagles. But what I really love about that one was the how the bald eagle looks sad. Looks really worried. But everything of that wedgie is actually true. They attack anything, from foxes to kangaroos, and they do attack paragliders occasionally. Why? No idea. So I've got to pick a new job in this. Let's see what we got.
Hopefully one that you don't get pulled over for.
Okay, so we've got Carson City to St. Simon. Yeah, that looks like a nice one. It's how far is it? It is 900 miles, so that's 9 minutes in this game. Yeah, okay. How much longer? How long have we been fucking recording? That's only 54 minutes. That's not too bad. Pity no one else has come in and have a chat, but yeah, this one will do.
Yeah. It means less likely for Pulse Audio to break everything.
That so anything new games you want to play or something like that?
Well, I did. I got that latest Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
At least up to the 2nd tier, and that was interesting.
I haven't
I'm royally pissed though at GOG.
Why? What's up?
They're having their summer sale, and they are providing System Shock 2 for free.
Yeah.
If you download GOG Galaxy.
Oh, they did that with when they first made that. I signed up for the beta and it didn't fucking work. And they said, "Oh, we'll give you Aliens vs Predator, like the original AVP back in the early 2000s."
I've got that free from them for just like nothing.
Yeah, but it would never work. It just would not work. And I did get the Gianna Sisters from them as well, and it didn't work either. So,
But I'm just ticked off that they're offering a free game, saying, "Hey, it's a free game with the summer sale, yay!" Oh, but wait,
Yeah.
you have to have you have to download our system, and it's only available for Windows, and it doesn't freaking whine or Mac OS.
Yeah.
So fuck you all. It's like I posted in one of the forums about GOG Galaxy for Linux that well, since GOG Galaxy is not available for Linux and you're punching me, and it seems like you're punching me in the gut with this free game that I will not be able to get, you're not going to get my money this year. Hello, Steam.
Yeah.
Summer sale.
Yeah, I've been tempted to get System Shock too, actually. I was thinking about it the other day. Getting it. Because I do have Bioshock Infinite for the PS3, and it's not too bad. It is what it is. It's pretty impressive. It's fantastic. But they say, oh, you can glide over here, you can do this, you can do that, and I never felt any real compelling reason to do so. It's just, meh. It just became boring after a while.
On the Humble Staff Picks bundle, I really think Absolute Drift would be more something, the game that you'd get the most out of. I don't think you'd be a Hand of Fate person, although it is a pretty darn neat game. It's also... I died! Table flip! I need to walk out or else I'll break things!
Right, so it's a rage game, is it? Yeah.
Come back in. Okay. Try this again. Death! Not all that effort!
Oh, boo-hoo fucking who! I've got a fucking Commodore where it didn't fucking save your game after 7 hours. So go cry me a fucking river. Alright?
I've got an NES that doesn't save for many of the games.
Yes, exactly. Like, I hate the millennials when they say that, oh, it's a old school hardcore game. No, it isn't. It isn't.
No, this isn't a hipster pixel game in that sense. This is, it's a card RPG game. So
yeah, I know Hand of Fate.
Cards.
I know Hand of Fate because it was on, LGC reviewed it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, they reviewed it.
But yeah, they actually mentioned it in the show that it might be a worthwhile bundle when the more games mean soon appears.
Yeah.
But I got it instantly because I knew that game would be fun, and one of the other guys that I know was asking me, how is Absolute Drift? And I'll say this. If I had a choice of Action Hink or Absolute Drift to play, I'd choose Absolute Drift.
Okay, so what's Absolute Drift? What kind of game is it?
It is... It is a car... It is basically a drift simulator.
What? Oh, I know Absolute Drift. That's the top down with the car, isn't it?
Yep, where you have the skidding and...
Yeah. I think I did have the demo for that, actually, and I was actually fairly good at it, but I just... Nah. No thanks. I'm not in the mood.
Well, it's in the top, or the lowest tier, so if you pay just $1, you get it.
Yeah.
You get that 101 or 1001 spikes, whatever that is.
Yeah,
that looks more like your sort of game.
Well, you know, $1 American is like $3,000 Australian. Come on.
Yeah, $3, 3,000 dongly dues.
Yeah, dollary dues, yes. We'll never live that bloody episode down. Damn you, Simpsons!
The one bundle that had me perplexed was the the Humble Narrative bundle.
Yeah. That's one of
The
those...
only... Go ahead.
They were all visual novels, weren't they?
No, they were all point and clicks. So,
Oh.
Her Story, Read Only Memories, Broken Age, Sorcery, exclamation mark, parts 1 and 2, and Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. I only want Hong Kong
Yeah, the Shadowrun.
Extended Edition.
Yeah.
Mostly because you seem to like it and it's been well reviewed and but
Well, I haven't played Shadowrun, so... Or any of the Shadowruns, actually. I haven't played them.
somebody did. Somebody was like, "Oh, you should get Shadowrun."
Yeah, probably Pedro.
Why? No, this was before LGC.
Oh.
This was in OpenSUSE.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it wasn't me. Probably Gravedigger,
Oh.
because I think I've seen him play it a few times.
Yeah, he likes the game that's on sale on Steam, Wasteland 2.
Yeah, I got Wasteland 2. I started playing that, actually. It's pretty cool, but didn't hold my attention
It's
for very long.
It's expensive and...
What do you mean expensive? It's like $5. Not even that, it's not like a couple dollars.
What? Bullshit! It's on sale 50% off. It's $20.
It wasn't when I brought it, it was like a couple bucks.
Wasteland 2, the new
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Wasteland
I actually
2,
got Wasteland 2 the director's cut. I got both. Got Wasteland 2 and the Wasteland 2 director's cut. And Wasteland 1.
Oh,
How I got them, I
It's-
can't remember.
the director's cut is $19.99 right now, and that's 50% off. And the Wasteland 2 Director's Cut Digital Deluxe Edition is $29.99.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do own it.
Mm-hmm.
How did brain aneurysm go?
But it is one you have to put a fair bit of effort into, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I've been looking more into something like point and click, almost Diablo-esque RPG.
Well, for point and click, I like things like Armor Krog and stuff like that when it comes to point and clicks. And Beneath a Steel Sky is one as well.
And that's an adventure game, not Diablo-esque.
Well, I didn't say Diablo-esque. Oh, that's not a bloody point and click. That's just a clicker. Point and click is the adventure games of like Indiana Jones and Day of the Tentacle and stuff like that. Those are point and click. Diablo is dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, but it Torchland 2 and
Torchlight.
Torchland are the closest.
Torchlight.
Torchlight.
Yeah, not Torchland, Torchlight.
Ah, dyslexia is coming to my mouth.
Dyslexia is a horrible disease.
Instant bipolar. I love you all! Fuck you all! No, that's Tourette's. Sorry.
No, that's just being drunk. I love you, man.
Now that could happen, but I wouldn't want to do that with the medicines that I'm on.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Oh, okay. I'm taking a look at the latest Humble book bundle, and
Yeah.
I
actually
nothing
looked-
interesting.
The only book bundle I actually brought was the what was it? The underground or censored ones, where they were all deemed inappropriate and banned in the US. Apparently, these things.
Really?
Yeah. But I've read a couple of them. I'm going, why? Why are these banned? Doesn't make any sense.
What's the last one that I got? I should just check. Latest purchases from Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle, Deep Silver Bundle, Humble Staff Picks, City Skylines After Dark. Yay! High Candy. Oh, Hacking presents No Starch Press.
Right.
That's the one that had a bunch of Python ones. I got it for hacking the Xbox and introduction to reverse engineering and the Linux command line. The Linux command line is a really, really useful book.
Yeah.
It is one of the best agnostic Linux books out there.
Right. Cool.
By the way, it's also free and open source, so I have no idea why I threw money at it. It's freely available to download.
And on that note, have you actually read the GNU book? It was actually it's not the GNU manifesto, because that's in the Emacs manual. No, it was actually the story of it. Exactly what actually happened. Pretty much step for step. Why the GNU was formed. Yeah, it's actually on the GNU website. It's actually really cool. You can actually buy it from the GNU you can actually buy it from them and actually have it signed by Stallman himself. Which would be really cool, but...
I think I might be able to get that from Drew.
Yeah.
He's our local OpenSUSE ambassador.
Yeah, that's right there. He was on the last LGC, wasn't he?
Yeah. It is really, really stupidly funny. He's got OpenSUSE on his main rig in his room, and he's got a high-end NVIDIA GTX card on it, and he's running Yovu.
What?
He's got a 900 series GTX card.
And he's running what?
And he's running Yovu, the open source NVIDIA drivers.
Yovu, right.
And he wonders why he has OpenGLX issues.
And did you whack him across the head a few times, or?
I wasn't the only one. The guy that wouldn't pop up on screen, who works for Oculus Rift, has whacked him on the back of the head. But Drew, from what I gather, he was like a Jehovah's Witness for FSF.
Oh, right, for the yeah, that thing. FSF, yeah, the Free Software Foundation, in other words, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
so he was handing out the books on free software and whatnot.
So he's a lesser version of Stallman, in other words. Or just as bad.
I'll put it to you this way. He just bought a Dell XPS Developer Edition, and he's having trouble getting OpenSUSE installed on it because there's some strange bug with Parted, and the NVMe SSD, it just hangs at 100%, and the installed goes nowhere.
Oh.
So whatever voodoo magic Ubuntu does to get it to work, it just won't work with Leap. So he is one of those Libre people. He refuses to install Steam or play video games because they're not Libre. Yet he has a Wii.
Well, okay, the Wii can be liberating for your Wii, but
so I ended up the other day telling him, you know, just slightly mess with him. You know,
Yeah.
you bought the wrong computer. It's not Libre enough. And then I linked him to, I believe, the T500 and the T420, the ThinkPads,
Oh yeah, I want to get one of
which
those.
are capable of being completely and utterly Libre. The T420, I believe, is approved by the only laptop approved by the Free Software Foundation,
Yep.
because you can install Libre Boot on it.
Yep. There's they actually on the Free Software found out on the GNU website, I should say, they have links to the actual fully fledged free laptop, which is like 500 euros or something like that. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I've been tempted to get one of those actually because I would like to get Libre Boot because I like messing with BIOSes and stuff like that. And
You'd be better off getting an older ThinkPad and just dealing with that. A T60 with an Intel integrated graphics chip would work. Just don't expect OBS on it.
Oh, you're no fun.
I'm warning you because I'm giving you my experience. None of my ThinkPads can OBS. They don't have OpenGL 2.1 support.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Well, I take that back. Maybe the AMD ones could.
Oh,
the
don't
ones that
tell me
have-
that. Don't tell me that. I don't want fucking AMD. Come on.
Yeah, and those can't do Libre. But, yeah, so it was funny how I kind of was like, you spent way too much money. You could have gotten a better laptop that's all Libre.
Yeah. It would have been better off just going to System 76.
No,
Those
no.
Dell things are crap. What I meant was those Dell things are absolute shit. They're worthless.
We've dealt with System 76 at scale.
Ah.
They're no.
Well, you can go
no.
to Think Penguin then and get a laptop from them.
Yeah, and guess which one they like the most?
Yeah. The old ThinkPads.
Yes. Let's see. I'll take a look and see what they've got in stock. Oh, they have their own, but oh well.
Who's that?
I'm looking at. I was looking at Think Penguin.
Ah, right. Yeah, they do have their own. How much? Can you tell me how much it is? Because I need to get a
It's
new
about-
laptop.
It's about. Let me get back to. Corora Penguin GNU Linux Notebook is $699 US, and Penguin Adele GNU Linux laptop is $899. Let's see what the
That'll be around 900 to 1,000 Australian.
that would mean you just have to come to the United States and buy some electronic equipment and then take it back with you. It won't
Oh
be just cheap.
oh joy.
As I stated, you'll have a place to stay. Yeah, the laptop has an Intel i7-6700 HQ CPU, whatever the hell that means nowadays. I can never keep track of the Intel CPU numbering system.
They have gone dicky.
Let's see. 1920 by 1080 matte screen, Aetherios in Wi-Fi, why no AC, bro? Integrated webcam, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, why you know 32. DVD burners, why you know Blu-ray. Intel HD graphics 530.
Because there's no Blu-ray crap for Linux at this point. There is Libre Blu-ray, which doesn't really work, but it's still up in the air.
You
Blu-ray support
can
on the Linux.
you can burn to Blu-ray, and that's pretty much it. You can burn data to Blu-ray discs. K3B has the ability to burn data Blu-ray discs for like backups and whatnot. But that's about it. Yeah, I would not buy this laptop. It is overpriced for what you get. And
What?
I'm looking at LibreBoot's supported list.
Yep.
A ThinkPad X60, X200,
Yep.
R400, T400, and T500 are supported by LibreBoot.
Alright. So, when it comes to ThinkPads, ThinkPads is the way to go, because I've got an Asus laptop which does its thing. It's pretty old though, but yeah, it works. Good with that. But I need something new these days. I can't do anything with this laptop anymore.
Yeah, the T400 and T500 that I have are really nice. I think it's the T400 that I have is the one that has a solid state drive in it.
Right.
And both of them have DDR3. That's why I'd recommend them over the X60 or the T60. Is the RAM actually really makes a huge difference.
Cool.
But really the X200 line is really, really neat. I'd pick one up. It's just they're in such high demand because not only the Libre boot is available for it, but there's so many mods that you can do. I mean, it's just stupidly ridiculous how many mods that are available for the X200 and 210 and 220 line.
So on average, how much do you think they cost?
An X200 will cost anywhere from 159 USD to 300 or 400 USD, 500 for one in really, really top condition with top specs.
So how much would one be brand new? Do they even sell them brand new anymore?
No.
Right.
They're in the X250 line right now. So the X200 is relatively old, but it's like first or second generation Core i series processors, if I remember correctly.
Right.
I
that's
could
pretty
check. eBay.au.
Don't do eBay. But anyway, go ahead.
This site cannot be reached. Okay.
It's .com.au.
What site would you buy a computer from in Australia so that I can...
mwave.com.au.
mwave.com.au.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I got my stuff.
Everything's upside down!
Oh, shut up.
I'm sorry.
I know, you couldn't help it. You had to do it. Didn't you?
What they have in stock. Oh, they're on the X260 now. Okay. The ThinkPad Yoga 14-inch is really, really nice. I really like that laptop.
Yeah.
My stepmother has one, and Drew has the lesser quality. Basically, it's not mil spec and has a plastic shell, Lenovo branded Yoga, and they're both very well built. I mean, it's just mind-boggling how well built they are.
Cool. So, what's the prices we've got
for the Yoga? See them there. Not the one that I recommend, because they've got the 12-inch, which is and that's about $2,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah. T430 14-inch i5, 8 gigs RAM, 180 gig SSD, Windows 7 Pro refurbished, 399 Australian wet stinkies.
That's not too bad.
Copying that link and posting that into Mumble for you.
Cool. Oh jeez, that's loud. Sorry, YouTube viewers. Yeah, I don't want to give that idea to your head.
They don't have any in stock, but they do sell refurbished T420 14-inch ThinkPads.
Cool.
Yep. So basically, the one I linked it's good. If I had a choice between the T430 and the T420, I like the keyboard in the T420 a lot better. The T430 has the better screen.
Right.
Is there any other online retailer down under?
I'm sure there is, but I don't know. I can't remember any off the top of my head. Normally, I don't buy my stuff online. I buy my stuff at the store usually, because then I got someone to yell at. I came in this car park. Oh, oops.
Ooh, hello. Newegg Australia, though, has a much larger selection.
Oh yeah, Newegg. That's what I should have remembered. Yeah, forgot about Newegg.
Okay, let's see if I can find. Ooh.
That doesn't sound good.
It's expensive, but ooh, a W510.
Yeah, how expensive is expensive?
It's $729 for
Ooh.
a portable workstation with an NVIDIA FX 8800M.
Right.
Not Libre enough, but meh.
Oh, jeez. Give warning next time.
Holy crap! Why the...
What?
They have a T60 for $1,000 with a 60 gig hard drive and 1 gig of RAM. Why is it more expensive than the much more powerful i7?
This is Newegg, remember?
Oh,
Newegg
that's
is...
why.
What?
It's got a docking station.
Oh.
That would explain it.
What's a docking station got to do with it?
The docking station gives you additional USB ports, additional video out ports. I don't know what docking station it is. One of the docking stations has a PCI slot.
Oh, okay, I see.
Either a PCI or a PCIe 1X, I don't remember. So, let's see. T410 is also $781. Yeah, you'd actually be better off with the first site that you told me, Enwave, that T430 or whatever, or the one that I linked earlier.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, the T430 would be a much, much better buy, much better bang for your buck.
Cool. If that's the case, then I might be able to get it in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Things go to plan. Cool.
Why do they have an HP EliteBook marketed as a Lenovo ThinkPad? Brain poof!
You've been doing that a lot today.
It could be the same reason why my chip is dead.
Why's that?
I don't know. It turns on and then it just powers off or freezes.
Well, don't put it in the fryer and it won't break. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That's okay.
But it had a good run for what it is. It's an El Cheapo computer, but I thought someone like you would know why it stopped, though. Is it it boots, right?
That I don't know. I believe that the issue that I had is it would power off and sometimes not boot at all, which is a sign of bad flash or bad power. But
Sounds like
I've given it clean 5-volt power in several different forms. I've given it to a 1 watt or a 1 ampere quick charge cell phone charger.
Yeah.
A modified PC power supply with 36 amperes going through the 5-volt rail.
Yep.
With that, the device only takes what it needs, so that's a lot of headroom.
Yeah.
Way more than it needs. And then even connecting it directly to a PC, in this case my server, it was either unstable or as of now it won't boot.
Sounds like it's overheating to me.
Yeah, I believe that is the case. And it could also be compounded by the fact that when I do my D-message, I'm getting errors about the NAN,
Yeah.
and that's just not good. Because if the NAN's bad, I'm screwed. There's no other boot storage option on this.
Ah, okay. So you can't like hook up a USB drive or something like that.
No. And that's kind of an issue with a lot of the small computers like the Odroids, the chips, BeagleBoards,
The Pi and stuff like that.
I don't know so much about the Pi. The Pi is a slightly different beast, but mainly the ones that use something called U-boot. It's like Grub, but not. It's like Lilo, except
right.
for embedded devices.
Okay.
So you've got this separate little partition for as your boot partition, and one of the things that makes it really difficult, and I'll give you an example with the Odroid. The Odroid, I had 12.2 on it.
Yeah.
So you'd think it would be easy just to go and do a zipper dump to a slightly higher version.
Yeah.
Well, that would work perfectly fine on an x86 machine with Grub, but because Zipper cannot go and handle updating or moving the init RD, and there's another file that's in the boot directory to the U-boot partition, and then changing the U-boot script to point to that particular kernel image, it won't boot.
Right, okay, I see.
So with something like that, you have to go in and manually change it and pray to God that it works. So in the case of the DUP to Tumbleweed, because there really isn't anything else for ARM with OpenSUSE.
Yeah, that's
the issue was it just wouldn't work. It was just a bit of hell trying to go in and modify the U-boot scripts to point at this new kernel or move the kernels over.
Right.
And that's another bit of hell if I were to try and use the there's another way to go and put another operating system is by using the official Ubuntu image.
Oh dear.
And overriding everything except the dev, proc, and sys. You have to keep those.
Ah, okay.
So.
Yeah. So to do that, you'll probably image it onto. You'd set up your OpenSUSE on one machine, and then copy it over to the Droid. Would that be it?
It would be more like on a PC, you put the SD card or the eMMC onto some sort of reader, USB, plug it in, open it up in your file browser, and move the files over.
Yeah.
Or you could do it via command line with special options to not do certain files and whatnot. The other thing you have to do is you have to keep the Ubuntu kernel.
Oh.
Because if you don't, it won't boot.
Right.
Oh, and modules as well, because there's the Molly driver, which is a special bit of hell. That's why I was telling Strider, he was like, why don't you just go and compile your own kernel? Been there, done that, didn't get a t-shirt.
Fucking FedEx truck. Well, yeah, well, I haven't compiled a kernel in years. I used to do it a lot, but back in, like, was it Fedora Core 6 I used to do that. Because the Fedora kernel was just shit. Well, it still is, but still.
Yeah, I have not had the need to compile a kernel. I've successfully compiled a kernel, but I just I haven't had the need, because if it works, it works. Stick with it. That's why I've got Ubuntu on my Odroid, and it's most likely going to stay that way until someone offered an alternative image for Tumbleweed, which is unlikely to happen.
Yeah. Well, like when we were trying to do that, what was it, during the post-show of LGC, we're trying to get that ring thing to work. I just couldn't get it to work on OpenSUSE.
Yeah. I was running into that issue, going back to the chip.
Yeah.
There is a option for recovery, and Malcolm Lewis took the source code that Next Thing Co. made on their GitHub and compiled it and put it up on OBS.
Right.
So the big problem that I have right now is there is supposed to be something called FEL mode, which allows you to plug your chip into the computer and have fast boot access and be able to reflash it. Not only reflash the firmware, the NAND firmware, Wi-Fi firmware, but also go and upgrade your entire OS to a newer kernel, dealing with the U-boot fiascos.
Right. So what is U-boot? What does U-boot actually stand for, do you know?
Wikipedia, save me!
Why is there a town called Business?
DOS U-boot is the actual full name. Universal Bootloader is an open source primary bootloader used in embedded devices to package the instruction to boot the device's operating system kernel.
Yeah. So it's the same as everything else.
Yeah.
Right. I was starting to think it was Ubuntu boot or something.
Nah. It's available on the OpenMocha.
Oh, yeah.
It's used on pretty much a majority of the Chromebooks.
Oh, that thing, right. I remember now.
Omega 1 computers running Omega OS use U-boot.
Yeah.
Never seen an Omega.
No,
Amiga.
never have I. Yeah, Amigas. Never have.
So yeah, that's kind of the issue that I'm having now. Is it's the recovery mode for the chip is not working, and because there is technically no warranty, I'm pretty much SOL.
Right.
So the other thing is they just came out, Next Thing Co. came out with an app to recover, flash, and restore your chip. for Chrome.
Oh,
And
right.
one of the instructions is you have to let's see, what is it? Oh yeah, you have to enable some really sketchy root stuff. Like, for example, you need to make it so that your Linux machine non-root users can access all serial devices,
Right.
and all non-root users can go and use pmount using the plug dev group, which turns out it doesn't exist in OpenSUSE.
Right. Right.
So I was a bit SOL there.
Yeah. Alright, well, I've just finished this delivery, so I think I'm going to call this video here.
Alright.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't want to sit here watching that truck spinning again, I don't think. I don't think anyone wants to see that. So we're going to have to call this a video. Thanks, Mia, for talking again. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. So I have to say a good night and a goodbye.